So in 2018, the US made $48 billion off international students alone. In 2019 to 2020, 1,075,496 international students studied in the US according to Statista, with the average cost for international students being $160,000 to $240,000 USD for 4 years of education, stated by the IEFA. Many students struggle to afford $250,000 education, so they get a loan, leaving them with the next 21 years trying to pay off this loan. But what if there was another way? Hi, we are UniLink, a company set on changing the future. So, in our presentation today, we'll be talking about the problem and solution, business logistics, feedback and validation, consumer plus competition, sample website, attracting consumers, and our financials. So our company, UniLink, we aim to help those that have the potential but don't have the resources to go to these good universities. So our team, the founder, me.
I'm Nick, the Chief Publicity.
I'm Marcus, the Consumer Profile Expert.
I'm Jay, the Market Research Analyst.
And I'm Manoush, the Chief Financial Officer of UniLink.
Okay, so the problem versus the solution. So 34% of young adults can't afford university. They have great potential, they have great work ethic and dedication, but are limited to the universities in their neighborhood or not universities at all due to financial constraints. So you could be thinking there might be scholarships that they can apply for. There are limited scholarships for international students, most of which aren't for that much money, and most of which go to athletic scholarships. And then there's also billion-dollar companies like Amazon, Google, IBM, Tesla, who have all publicly stated that they struggle to find quality candidates. Amazon, for example, said they have over 20,000 open positions that they need to fill. Google, Tesla, Microsoft all stated that they can't find any quality candidates to come work for them. So the solution, us, UniLink, we are the solution. We connect businesses with candidates. We'd be able to help these students by connecting them with the businesses. We'd be able to help connect them with the businesses, and for the businesses, we would provide them with internships from these students, and we'd also provide them with, eventually these students would come work for them for multiple years, depending on their contract after they're done university. So we're providing them with the top quality candidates, and we are also providing the students with an affordable education.
Can you just hold us that we're not set possible?
Pardon?
Just go back 2 slides. Okay, stop. Say that again, please.
We're the solution. So basically, we are connecting organizations with high schoolers. The businesses would pay for the high schoolers' first year of university. In return, the high schoolers are going to intern with the companies for the summer, and if they work hard enough, then these universities will pay for another year. So we are providing these companies with internships, and then after the 4 years are done, if they work hard and they stick together, then they will have 3 years, or depending on whatever amount they agree to, the student would work for that company for a lesser pay to pay off out of the debt that they're to the company for paying for their university tuition. So we're providing these universities with the opportunities we're providing the companies quality candidates, and we're providing students with a good education. So the benefits, students that obviously get financial support, their desired education and job opportunities, and businesses get internships, quality candidates, and they get the chance to help out students.
So how does our business work specifically? So first, companies will make a selection of the attributes and skills that they want for future employees. Students will then be able to select their top 3 companies they'd like to work for. They select their field of study and their location. From here, students will send an application through our website, and they'll pay a small fee of $15 to do so. The application will cover things like resume, experience, skills, and parents' income, similar to that of the OSAP application. From here, companies will see a list of all the applications that match their needs, and they can get into contact with students and provide them an interview or just chat with them. If the interview goes well and the student agrees to a condition, they will receive a contract that outlines the terms of the payment, how long they're going to pay, how much the company will pay, and terms of employment too. So if the company wants that person to intern for them or maybe work in the future as a full-time position. And then from here, the student can make a decision to accept or decline. Some other conditions of our business is that all business must be conducted through our app, and any future contract changes or discussion between student and business happens outside of our app and is on their own responsibility.
So student feedback and validation. So we ran a student survey at our school. We asked the question, do you or anyone you know have a vision to study internationally but can't afford it? We asked 80 people from around our school and all of them said yes. We also asked for feedback from our teachers, our mentors, and our coach. So these are some of the comments that we wanted to implement into our business. So first off, cancellations. It's obviously a big commitment for these businesses to pay that price for these students to go to university, so they might want to back out if the student's not performing the way they want them to. So that's where this comes in. The businesses will sign a contract that says that they will pay for 1 year of tuition, and the student must keep up this GPA, and they must do these extracurriculars. And if the student can't uphold those, they can cancel the contract, or if the student's not producing an internship that they're going to do with the business over the summer, they can also cancel it. So next, the right fit. So to ensure that the student's the right fit for the business and the business is the right fit for the student, we're going to have a bunch of businesses that the students can pick from, their top 3, and obviously these are going to be businesses that are passionate about. This app is for students that are passionate and have ambitions. So that will ensure that the student is passionate for the business and won't just bail on them. And the business is going to tell us what requirements they have. And if the student fills the requirements, we're going to pass the application along to the business. And from there, it's up to the business to communicate with the student to form a contract. And lastly, what if the student wants to back out? A lot of students end up dropping out of university or changing majors. So to cover this, students would have to pay a subsidized loan and eventually pay back the businesses for the tuition that they have covered. So if the student wants to drop out, the business of Art just go leaves $100,000.
All right, so moving on to our target consumer. So we aim to target people that are aged 15 to 22 years of age. 15 is a good age to start thinking about applying. 22 is a bit late, but it's not late enough to submit an application. For income, we're looking at those who have the low total parent income, so around
$50,000 a year.
for psychopaths, we're looking for those who are extroverted, outgoing, expressive, and ambitious. So, for Kasana, meet Justin. Justin is a 17-year-old student in Aurora, Ontario. He's incredibly gifted in computer science, and he wants to be a software designer in the future. Next year, he plans on applying to MIT, but his parents are already in the same amount of debt, can't afford it. So upset that the doors to his future are closed, Justin tends to avoid his friends who always talk about how excited they are about university and can't stop talking about it. Reflecting on his behavior, he wonders how he can attend university without increasing his parents' debt. UniLink is a solution to this problem. If Justin uses UniLink will connect him with organizations, support him financially for his education, and provide future job opportunities for him. But what else could Justin do to solve this problem? Well, obviously, his scholarships and his bank or student loans. But what are the shortcomings of this? Well, the scholarships, it's not enough money. Student loans, that just increases debt.
Now I'll be talking about the competition. Now you may say, okay, so there must be some businesses that provide similar or same services. No, we are unique. In fact, we don't have any direct competitors. We only have indirect competitors because we are unique. And before going over the indirect competitors, we'll go over our UVP, the unique value proposition. So our unique value proposition is the fact that we provide the students with full scholarships and connect them with the employers, with companies at the same time. In our competitors, we have LinkedIn, Scholarship, Canada, and banks. So LinkedIn connects employees and employers. And in this case, the employees include high school students. And Scholarship Canada finds scholarships for students, and banks give out student loans. LinkedIn connects employees and employers, and however, they do not help the students financially though. And Scholarship Canada finds scholarship for students, but they do not provide the job opportunities and connect them to the employers. And banks gives out student loans, and that obviously helps the students financially, but once again, like us, they do not provide the job opportunities and the connections with the employers.
So how are we going to attract consumers to be part of our business? So first, we're going to bring our product to students in university and high school school boards, things like that. And we're going to set up a wait list. We're going to see who's interested and get them on the wait list before we make our product public. Then we're going to hire a salesperson to pitch our product to big businesses we're interested in. And we'll show them this wait list to show, yes, there is demand for our product. Yes, people want to do this. That'll intrigue them to be part of our product too. While all this is happening, we're going to be advertising all around social media, and this will be intriguing our target consumers. In the future, once we achieve stability, we'll focus our shift into keeping consumers. So how will we do that? First of all, for companies, it's just based on is there success, is there not. If there's success, they'll keep coming back to our product. Same thing goes for students. If there was success, they'll promote our product to other people they know that have the same problem. This brings us to profiles. We'll have student profiles sharing their success on our website so everyone can see. And last but not least, parents. 77% of parents said they would send their child abroad for study, and all of them would appreciate a lower cost.
So we have our sample website, and this is the website for the students' language. So through this site, the students will have to apply, and this slide is the landing page for the businesses or the employers, and they'll be able to access those applications and review them.
This is our financials. These are our financial projections for the next 5 years. So since we're a key product that is pretty much going on the little second market, we're going to be spending more in marketing. That's why we're spending $80,000. We're also going to be spending more on a sales rep because we need an experienced person in the business to represent us while pitching to the business why it should work our company. We're also expecting an estimate of 5,000 applications for open fields fee. So that's why we have $230,000 as our first year sales. And as the years go on, we expect word of mouth and increased advertising spending to increase our total revenue to 8,000 applications next year, and then 12,000 and 26,000 applications. And in the fifth year, might be wondering why there's such a sudden increase of 360%. That's because the first people who applied first year now have graduated, and now there's a proof of concept. People who have graduated now know that this works, and business also will have now competent and efficient employees that fit into the system perfectly, and students also know that this works, that this is an effective thing that will help them set up their future. That's why it's year 5 sales have set up at $4.5 million.
So we are UniLink.
That's a great presentation, love the idea. One big question I have is, at the beginning, when students refer to their first year, how many and what percentage of students leave in that first year and go to something else? Do you know that yet?
We do not.
Good answer. I love it when somebody, when you ask a question, you don't know the answer, because this is the problem. That's exactly what you should do, is say, I don't know it yet. Because I think that there's probably statistics that show in the first year, a lot of people, I know my first year, I did like 5 first years, I'm like, I hate this too. I kept on trying new things, and if I'd gotten locked in with Microsoft in year 1, I would be hating my life right now. No offense to Mike Shaw.
That's a really good point. Thank you for bringing that up.
But it's still solvable, because you could say, look, we'll pay 25% the first year, 50% the second year, 75, and do something like that.
Right, yeah, it's all based on what the company offers. And we also have ways to minimize the risk after the first year too.
So I've offered multiple scholarships for multiple universities and colleges for at least a decade, and never once has it paid off for me directly. So I think this is an awesome idea where there's some sort of like connection in a meaningful way. Last thing that's just really important is your persona is a developer who is extroverted. There's no such thing.
Yeah, I'm listening to you guys speak, and I'm thinking about what Lynn was talking about during her speech. And there's something that really resonated about, what defines you, and, putting your future and locking in your future with a company. And you alluded to that as well right now. So I want to start by saying I love that you're tinkering with a problem that is really burning, and that you're addressing a problem. And if I heard you see the problem correctly, if I understood the problem correctly, it was that there was a question of cost to education.
Yeah.
Yes. And that there was a question of access for international students
Yes.
to education.
And also cost for international students.
And cost for international students. And you provided some statistics, some number in the US, right? So there's a huge problem that you're addressing, and it's a question that's on a lot of people's minds. What I was wondering was, who's putting up the money?
So the businesses would be putting up the money.
And who are you calling your consumer?
It's both and them.
Okay. I thought your persona said something about a 17-year-old.
That was just an example of like what most of our consumers, like student consumers.
So you've done some research, you've talked to some people. How many of them were students?
All of them. We're just asking them if they know anybody or if they themselves want to go to international university.
Right. If you gave me a choice to study internationally, I know there would be one person here who would turn down the opportunity to travel, especially if it's going to get paid for. If you just said you had two, so there was a company and a person, you showed one, 100% of the people you interviewed were people. How many companies did you talk to who would say, here's the money? Like, here's what I would want.
Right, we talked to 0 companies specifically because of the difficulty to reach out to those giant companies, right?
You can
And
talk to
our, yeah, no, it kind of gives away. We did have that plan to hire a sales rep in the future and come up with a real plan to market. I would say if you're looking, what is our target company? It'd be companies looking for employers that they need people to work for them, or just companies that haven't really been able to get a quality candidate to work for them. Since they know exactly what they're going to study, how they're going to come out, what degree they're going to come out with, they could really tailor their needs to that.
Thank you for the presentation. I have a couple pieces of feedback instead of questions. So the first is hire a salesperson. Didn't really sit well with me. I underlined it a couple of times because I think what you're doing right now is sell the class stuff my right. So anyone can be a salesperson. And I think that you could be a good starter for that. And particularly hire someone, they're going to want to see, they're going to need the training, and they're going to need you to sell them on the idea, and will they even join you? Like, or you have to sell first. So I think you should underestimate yourself. There's a company called Austrian International. I applied to it when I was in high school, and it's to go intern at Microsoft in Australia. And it was $5,000 maybe, something like that. And I couldn't afford it at the time. Could have applied for a scholarship. But that company was started by, I believe, a 17-year-old. And she was on her own company. So there is a model that works, maybe not the same way, but it does exist. So, like, think about it that way. There's someone who's a teenager who created a company that's successful. So, in the similar space. So I would take a look at that. And then my final advice would be just, I noticed that there were over 7 statistics in the first 3 minutes. and it's a lot for our brain to keep track of. So in the future, just for everyone as well, try to go for one or two really, really hard hitting statistics and let people sit with that statistic. Listen, $125,000. Like, imagine how long it takes to make that much money, right? For a single income or dual income family that has less than $50,000, and these are all their expenses. Let that sit in, right? That's all you need to say. We are catering towards international students who want to also get jobs and be able to go to university. That's all you have to say. So that would be my piece of feedback. But great job.
Yeah, thank you.